We got head of music pouring the water. Go Dan. Mate, it's been a long time. It's been a real long time. I mean, 2.5 years or 2 years
since we saw each other. Yeah. Well, I was here for Defected. Were you here? I saw you that trip.
I was here. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2.5 years. Yeah. It was Feb 2020.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, two and a bit years.
Dan hasn't poured us the water. He's camera shy.
I got it.
Let's get this water going. Let's keep it flowing, bro.
Yeah, that long. Yeah. Crazy.
Wow. And how was everything during those 2 years for yourself and the family? I mean, you've just had
we had a COVID baby. So as a lot of people
Congratulations.
did. Yeah, so we were pretty busy with that for 9 months.
Yeah.
And then we had him in October. Well, my wife had him. October 22nd last year. So we've been busy with that coming out of COVID. I mean, that's basically in Australia. We got hit pretty hard, as you know.
Yeah.
Clubs were all shut.
Yeah. Feels like the second lockdown.
Yeah.
But full on.
It was full on. We were literally in our homes. Could go out for like walks and stuff, and that was it. So it was tough, but we obviously had a baby that was coming on the way, so that kept us busy.
Yeah.
But then in October of last year, that's when we had our baby, and that's when things started to open up for us back home. So October, November, December was pumping.
So there was a decent summer.
Pumping. Yeah. Those 3 months were really good, and then just around New Year's is when the Omicron stuff broke out, and then it was really bad for about 6 weeks.
What was the vibe like after, just having those 3 months of wow? Yeah. And then
we didn't want
that second wave. How did you guys
feel?
Yeah,
we didn't want it. We obviously didn't want it to end, and we it was a glory period, those 3 months, and then Omicron was creeping around New Year's, and then clubs shut for about no dancing for two weeks in January, which means clubs are pretty much shut.
Yeah.
So we pushed through that, and then
Can you just explain that a little bit more? What it means to be no dancing?
Yeah, so no dancing. So we run Ivy Pool on Saturday nights called Boogie, and we were fortunate enough to be one of the first in October to open up, even when you couldn't dance. Let me have a
get in there, man. Yeah. Hydrate.
So we were one of the first to open up, so we were packed.
Yeah.
Clubs still couldn't open, but outdoor venues could. So in early October, outdoor venues could open, but you still couldn't dance.
And Ivy's got a bit of an open courtyard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we decided to put the music on and run through it. And then 3 weeks later, dancing was back.
Were people coming when there was the no dance?
They were, yeah, because we were one of the only places in Sydney open. Right. We were doing really well.
What were they doing when?
Bopping, tap.
So do they have to sit down or can they stand
up?
You
could stand and drink, but you couldn't dance.
Oh my God, that sounds like the bloke's dream. It's like the bloke's dream holding the schooner. Sorry, love, can't dance. It's legal.
It was common. It was just
And what happens if someone someone dropped a really good track and you wanted to dance a bit? Was there
security were pretty lenient about it. Okay, they weren't. The police were pretty lenient about it too. So they weren't heavily enforcing it. It was okay, but then outdoor dancing was allowed, but still clubs were shut. So clubs got hit the hardest here.
Yeah. True.
And that's why a lot of clubs have shut in Sydney, whether it's due to COVID or not.
Like as in indefinitely?
Well, let's go through them. Good Bar, gone.
Yeah, oh, wow.
And that was one of the main clubs. Chinese Laundry.
Really?
Gone at the moment, but I'm hearing it's coming back. So that will be back.
I hope that comes back.
It will be, yeah. They're talking about reopening that end of the year with a renovation. So I probably shouldn't be saying this, but who cares? I hope very well.
We'll release this in
release this in January next year.
Yeah.
We'll be fine. So that's been shut this whole time. What else? There's no real clubs. Club 77 is probably one of the only ones that's remained. Really, that's it.
Sevs.
And Burdekin, but Burdekin's basically a pub with a club inside.
Yeah, and a really good green room.
Yes, great green room. Yeah. But there's no real good clubs in Sydney at the moment. There's a lack of, and there's definitely room for some new clubs to reopen. And it's starting to happen. Bayswater Road, where I used to see you a lot.
Yeah.
Aussie has opened up a few clubs there. Candy's Apartment's been reopened as Marley. The club across the road's been opened up as Colt. Yeah. World Bar's reopening in 4 weeks. So there is some movement.
We're looking winter and now summer is coming with new clubs.
Yeah,
and reopens.
well, they're reopening in winter. Yeah, they're already, all of those are open.
Yeah.
World Bar's the only one, and that's opening in 4 weeks. So clubs are coming back in the cross because obviously restrictions have been lifted in Australia. Once COVID was ended, no, how you used to have no shots?
Yeah.
Well, shots are back. There's no lockouts. You know how we used to have the one.
Oh, really? The lockouts?
Lockouts are gone.
So we should, I don't know, this is a really awkward thing, but maybe we should be thanking the pandemic to get rid of the lockouts.
Well, yeah, there is things,
That's a positive, right?
There is some positives that come out of it.
Wow, who would have thought that? I did not see that coming.
Yeah. So
because, there was no end in sight with these laws.
I know.
And how were they going to unwind it after they had the power?
Yeah. And now a lot of people are being idiots again. There's been a few fights and whatnot, but I don't think they're going to go backwards. So, but yeah, that's been one of the positives that clubs are back. They're open late.
Yeah,
you can drink again like normal. So there is some positives. So
wow. And speaking of clubs, I mean, we've known each other around 10 years.
I think longer.
I think longer. And we were sort of, I guess, we were promoting on the same night, and that's sort of how we got to know each other. And then we've written music together, and I've released on your label.
We definitely won't show that track that we did together.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. Yeah,
Smash Palace.
Smash Palace. Yeah,
don't look it up, guys.
Good times.
Yeah,
I'm definitely looking it up.
Just a side note, you should always. A lot of producers want to have the perfect track and get it and release it, but you should always release tracks that you're happy to play, and we both were playing
at the time. Yeah. We look back at it now and probably go, well, but at the time,
change direction.
That's it.
And I think that's really important to sort of have that courage because your past becomes public, but that's my past.
Yeah,
and music changes, and if there's an evolution, imagine if we're still writing that kind of vibe.
Exactly,
we wouldn't have gone very far.
That's it. We're evolving.
And in that time, I've always really admired you because we'll just go through some of the things that you actually do now. Mm-hmm. DJ, artist, father, husband, run a label, so label owner.
Yep.
And with a homie, Ben Morris, who's sort of keeping the lights on there with keeping everything going. And then events.
Mm-hmm.
And also promoting one of the biggest dance house events brands for Australia, New Zealand, is it?
Yeah, Australasia.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So we can even include Bali for the Defected stuff.
Yeah, I handle the Bali stuff with them as well, and then agency and touring.
Oh yeah, then the agency, of course, and then the touring with the agency and also internationals.
Yep, exactly, and then venue consultancy back home as well.
Wow.
So a lot going on, but I got a great team, and that's what's got us here. So if it was just me, I wouldn't be able to do all that. So we got a good team back home. You'd know a few of them, Brad, Daniel, my wife, and Spencer. So we got a good team that keep the wheels moving. So. And
how did that kind of start? Because I remember when Motive kicked off, and I was really excited about that because I was really excited about the sound.
You got a good tune on that label.
Yeah, two.
That's right. That's right.
We did a COVID one. We did a pandemic one
right.
called Promises, and then the first one, How You Do It. But really good stuff that you're doing with that label. How did that, to me, I guess you were doing the agency stuff first before that?
Yeah, so the agency, I was trying to figure this out before I came in, so to get my
timelines
right. But I started with Ray Antonelli, who you know.
Yeah, Ray's a great guy.
Yeah, we started OneHit as just an agency to start with, and that, I reckon 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah,
so
wow.
what is it now, 20? No, I think it was longer. I think it was 2008.
Yeah.
From memory.
Yeah.
And we did it for a few years together, and then we went our separate ways. He started his own management division, Radar 7, and I kept OneHit going. And then soon after that, we started the events division of OneHit. We started with Defected, I think. That was our first one.
Yeah, wow.
We'll talk about that as well and how that all came about. What do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's. How did so the event side, the first one? How did that come about? How did you manage to secure and convince Defected? I want to run this party. I can pull it off.
Yeah.
Right, because that's a big. That's kind of again. This comes back to attributes that I admire about you. You really you go for it, and you get rewarded with the risk.
Yeah,
and that's
there
not
was
easy.
There was a big risk. I'll tell you the story. So I love Defected. Always have. Years before I even approached them. That's obviously the biggest house label that.
Would you say they're a bit of an inspiration behind Motive as well?
Yeah, 100%. Around everything we do, I get inspiration from Simon and his brands and what he does. But how it started was I reached out to them. Well, I think the first Defected we did in Australia was 2016 or 2017. One of those years. So I approached them probably a year before that.
Yeah.
Just email, cold called the email of, I think it was the events guy was Tom. Don't quote me on that. He didn't reply to me.
Right.
And I was like, okay, it's fair enough. 6 months later, George Pritchard, who's still there now, he's the events guy. He must have been going through old emails from the guy that he replaced.
From Tom's inbox.
Yeah. I think it was Tom. Yeah. And he saw an email, guy wants to tour Defected in Australia, and they hadn't been here for a while. In the past, Ministry had done it. I think Tim did a show at Ivy Pool with MK and
I remember that.
Yeah,
Nice
and
Seven, Sonny Federa.
That's
as well.
right.
Simon
yeah,
Dunmore
Setmo,
played.
Simon. Yeah, and they also did a couple at Laundry as well. And then so it hadn't been here for a few years, and I was like, well, it just didn't make sense why that brand hadn't toured Australia. So I reached out, and then obviously George was going back through emails. And
George.
Yeah, and he
Email
replied.
weapon.
He said, "Hi mate, sorry it's taken so long for someone to get back to you. Do you want to jump on a call?" We jumped on a call, hit it off, got along like a house on fire, and started planning the first tour. And we did Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, and Perth.
For the first one.
No, I think it was the Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane. We had Dennis Ferrer, Crookers, and Frankie Rosado.
Yeah. Was that when Frankie just had really started popping?
It was when Same Man had just dropped on Defected.
Yeah.
I believe, and Crookers had another pretty big track as well. Can't remember what it was. And we had Dennis. I really wanted Dennis. He's one of my favourite producers. So we brought it out. We did it at Greenwood. We got about 1,000 people there, which it looked good. Photos looked good.
Yeah.
But I did my ass. And Melbourne as well. So I think I lost $60,000 off the first tour. Yeah, and my wife's like, "You're going to do it again?" I go, 100% I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
So, but I told Defected, my position, and they were fully supportive, and they didn't want to see me lose money. So the following year, we worked out a better structure, a better deal.
Yeah.
And it made money, and then it made money again, and now it's it's been going really well ever since. So we went from like 1,000 in Sydney to the following year doing, I think 1,700. Then we're doing 2,100, selling out.
What was going through your mind just after that first event, and when you're going through the books, and knowing that you love this brand? This is again a tribute to who you are, because a lot of people might have just had a complete nervous breakdown and thrown in the towel, which is probably the normal thing to do, but you persevered. And what was that? What do you think? What did you believe? Did you see that it just needed time and you needed a few more? Yeah,
I think it hadn't been here for a few years, and obviously I was new to the events game as well.
At that level too.
I had to build a database. I started from scratch, so it was both. It was the brand hadn't been here for a while. And I just believe that it would pay off. It's like festivals; they don't make money in the first 1, 2, even 3 years. Like those bigger festivals, Stereosonic and that, they took years before they made money. So it was never a 1 year game. It was always about the long term with them. So I knew it would make money. And it's not even about making money. I knew it'd be successful. The first year was still a successful parties. Obviously, I just took a hit.
Yeah.
But the years after that.
Yeah, so the punter, they're having a great time. They don't know what's happening behind
Some people
the scenes.
tell me now, they say that first tour was still their favourite.
And personally, this might be a loaded question. Who was your favourite set on the Greenwood? Whose did you enjoy the most, knowing that you're a bit of a Dennis Ferrer fan?
I think Frankie, probably.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, Frankie Rosado. So where we are now, he's played here a few times for Damien. He was great. So, and we used him for the first 3 tours, I believe, until he sort of left Defected, if you want to say that. But he's not really playing for them anymore. So, but he was my favourite. But all the sets were good. Dennis was great as well. So that was the first tour. And then since then, it's gone from strength to strength, where selling out now most of the shows. The smaller cities, Brisbane and Auckland, they don't sell out just yet, but they go close.
Is there growth? Are they?
Yeah. Yep. I mean, we did Adelaide last time. We've cut that out. That was just didn't really work over there.
Yeah.
But Sydney, Melbourne, Perth are the strongest in Australia.
Where are you doing it in Melbourne?
Where are we doing the next one?
Where have they been?
Oh, where have they?
New space.
Where have we done it? Alumbra. We've done Alumbra in Melbourne. We've done Prince Bandroom. We did the Timber Yard last time, which is a really cool venue. And then the next one's going to be at 170 Russell.
Is that a first time announcement?
It is a first time announcement. Actually got the artwork yesterday.
Here we go.
You can just have a little.
Let's have a look. Check out this artwork.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
No lineups there, but that's the yeah. So we've done we've changed Melbourne venues quite a lot.
Yeah.
The only one we've sort of stuck with in Sydney is we're sticking with Ivy now. We've done Greenwood before for the first 2 or 3 years.
I was going to ask you the next thing about that. Ivy, Greenwood. Greenwood's a great venue, as you know. We've all had many amazing experiences there. And then, why is it? How come Ivy became the standout for you?
They're very professional there.
Yeah.
They've also got the production, all the rigging, everything's there, ready to go. You don't have to bring in a $20,000 production setup. It's there. It's ready to go. It doesn't need to do anything. Plus, they're awesome to work with. The deal's good. We work with Maryvale closely with our Saturday nights every Saturday. Boogie. So
you already got
a great relationship with them. Yeah. So that's the main reason. And when the guys came out from Defected, they definitely like the Ivy more. So we're going to stick there.
Now you just need to find the Ivy of Melbourne and Brisbane.
Yeah. We'll try on 170 Russell. That's a pretty cool club. It holds about 1,200. So we'll see how that one goes for the next one. We're doing that on Melbourne Cup Eve.
Oh wow!
Year, so
that's amazing.
So the tour is going to be. We're actually announcing it in a week or two. So even if this podcast comes out by then, it won't.
It will be out just after.
Yeah, so we're fine then.
Get your tickets, Aussie listeners.
Yeah,
Singaporeans that like Defected, fly on down to Sydney.
Or Bali. It'll be in Bali. Yeah, we're doing Sydney, Melbourne.
Have you locked in Bali yet?
We
venue?
have. Yeah.
Are you allowed to say it?
Yeah, Damien's not going to be happy.
I don't think you can hear us.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's at Savaya.
Okay,
and that was not my doing, by the way.
Yeah.
Basically, the booker for Savaya.
Yeah.
By the way, the show at Savaya last time was amazing.
Mate, Savaya's got amazing,
incredible.
production.
Yeah, and we've done it at Mississippi before, which was also a great show.
Yeah, I remember that. That was good.
But and it's obviously been at the W prior to that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, the booker for Savaya, Leslie, works for High and Ushuaia in Ibiza, and that's who Glitterbox work with over there. So there's a big relationship there growing between Leslie, George, Simon as well. So we decided to go there. Yeah. So that's going to be on a Sunday in the first week in November.
Okay. So Bali fam, Sunday, first week in November, Defected's coming. Are you allowed to release who's playing? I mean, this will be out. The flyer will already be out. This is coming out in 2 weeks, this podcast.
2 weeks.
Just think about that.
Let me think about that. Where the 30th of January.
It's coming out in 3 weeks, actually.
30th of June.
3 weeks. This podcast.
So 29th of June is the lineup announced. So will that be out then? Well, let's do the lineup. Who cares? Let's do it. Sam Devine.
Yeah.
Riva Star.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah.
Mike Dunn.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, and Ferric Dawn. So
wow.
Yeah, it's a mix of some of the main sort of Defected guys, and then Riva and that, which will give it a bit of a more underground feel to it.
I supported Riva. I think at Mississippi.
Yeah.
Lovely guy. Love his chuggy house,
awesome.
man.
It's great music.
Big pianos.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
good
great.
Guy.
And Mike Dunn, I'm excited about. So
mate, that guy.
Yeah, those two haven't toured for Defected in Australia yet, so I'm excited about them.
Wow.
Yeah, we've had Sam and Ferric quite a bit.
Yeah.
They always work, but
Sam's OG, right?
She's
Defected.
everyone now. Yeah, but she's got such a good following.
Base, yeah.
So that's the Defected story. And then we're doing Glitterbox as well in January, which will be Simon Dunmore's last ever tour
for Glitterbox.
Well, he's still going to be DJing. He says in Ibiza, Europe, local.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be doing the long distance traveling touring anymore. So this is his last run with us as a DJ. So that's exciting.
Simon's curation. I remember watching Simon at Ivy, that party that you did. I think that was you, or was that the Ministry Sound guys? Anyway, I remember Simon playing.
No, that wouldn't have been me. Yeah,
at the pool, and man, he's a digger.
Yeah, he's got a lot of music.
He's got a lot of music. He's got a bit of an advantage.
Yes,
but still, it's his taste. He gets to choose what he plays in that.
That's it.
In that slot, Yeah, and I was really impressed. Very groovy.
That's it. Yeah. So we're doing that in January. So that we're still working on the full lineup and all that.
That's in January. November is Bali.
October, November, Defected.
Yeah. And then Simon, Glitterbox, January.
That's it.
Is Melvo going to make an appearance? Yeah.
Maybe.
You.
You caught up with him, didn't you, when he was here?
Yeah, he's a good guy, man. He's a cool guy.
Did he come here as well to the studio, I think?
I'm not sure if he popped in here.
I think he did.
He may or may not, but I took him to the Pyramids of Chi.
We went there with Sam actually and George when they were here for Defected.
Yeah,
that was amazing. Up in Ubud.
Up in Ubud, did some sound healing, but poor Melvo had Bali belly, so he was not feeling it.
So did Sam.
Yeah, it's the Defected Glitterbox curse.
That's it. So that's the story about all that. But moving forward, where in the past we've sort of bought the brand and just paid for everything ourselves and then taken the tickets.
Yeah.
Moving forward, we're teaming up with Defected and Glitterbox just as a JV and doing everything straight down the line 50-50, which is good. You know, they know the brand strong over here and we've helped them build it over here, but it's time to sort of team up and do it together now. So
I think you're going to create more of that family vibe too in a deal like that, you know, and ideas getting thrown and you know, sharing risk and everyone feeling more like you're part of Defected. You know,
exactly.
And what it does here.
Yeah. So that's the story with that.
Wicked, man. And I mean, let's start talking about your label because we're really big here at Crate about the music. Crate is going to be a music platform. We'll talk about that in a bit. But Motive Records.
Yep. Motive.
Great label.
Yeah, we've been going for, I think, over 3 years now. Ben and I created that with Alex Preston at the beginning. There was the three of us. Yeah. And then Alex he's very busy with his own thing.
He's got his own label too.
He's got his own label and he's got a tour room deal and everything. So he's busy and he's also running label in Brookvale. So he's busy as it is.
Shout out to the Northern Beaches crew label.
Yeah. So Ben and I decided, we just had a group conversation. We're all good mates and we decided to move on as just Ben and I with it. And it's been going for, over 3 years. And hats off to Ben. He does a weekly podcast. I mean,
he's a G, man.
We're up to episode 150 next week. He's done it every week, whether he's on holidays or whatever. He always gets it done. Yeah. And he's just what a machine with two babies and his PT business and DJing and everything and it's just crazy how he can do that 150 episodes and still going strong. So there's that. But then the music, we've had a release every week for 150 weeks, I guess.
How many releases are you up to?
We must be over 150. There's been some where we've had more than that, but it's been good. And the good thing about it is it's not just locals. We've got a strong international presence on the label.
Yeah, you're starting to release quite a lot. It's you've really established yourselves as a credible house label. Let's talk about some of the internationals.
Yeah.
Talk about how they came to join the Motive family. Yeah. And then let's talk about some local talent as well.
Of course. So internationals, we've had Low Stepper recently do a remix.
Wicked.
For Alan DeCra and Daniel Cotrini. There's some internationals as well. That was a pretty big track called Everything. We've had Angelo Ferreri. We've had PM, who runs W in Barcelona. Who else have we had? We've had a lot.
Melee? Have you had Melee?
No, we haven't had Melee. Yeah. Tried. Yeah. Who else? There's heaps. I can't think of the top. Actually, I've got it right here.
Yeah, let's dig into. We don't have Jamie. Anyone to help us with looking up? We've got to do this stuff ourselves.
Give us 2 secs. I'll get this.
Yeah, we're going to have a setup at some point.
Maybe
so
we can.
We've had Peasant.
Oh yeah.
We've had who else?
What about the guy with the mustache?
Who's that?
Friend Within.
No, I haven't had Friend Within. We had Mirko and Meeks, Pinto.
Yeah.
Yeah, Angelo Ferrari, Marco Anzalone.
Few Italians.
Yep, Tom Buck, heaps of Italians. The Italians love us. I don't know why, but we've got plenty of Italians. Martin Batter was our first ever release. He's released on Defected and whatnot. Broken Ears. They're doing some good stuff right now.
What's been the biggest track from an international artist?
That's a good question. I would say Angelo Ferreri, Magic.
Really?
Yeah, that tune, it still gets played.
Are we talking Spotify streams or in the clubs?
Or both. Yeah, both. Sales, Spotify. That track's done so well for us.
Is there a correlation between how well the track is doing in sales, so streaming and downloads, versus how much it's being played in the clubs from Oz?
No, I don't think so.
Separate, right?
Yeah. We've got Matty and Omich coming up as well. We've got Dario Diardis.
Oh, wow.
With Gennaro. We might have a Ron Carroll track with James Curd coming as well. It's all not signed off on, but yeah, there's plenty in the works. So yeah, heaps of internationals, which has been
wicked,
which has been great, and put us on that stage. So it's good. And then locally, yourself, you've had 2 releases with us. Austin's Groove, Jack Truant, those are our guys we go to all the time. Tony and I, we've released Alex Preston.
So what's the duo you're releasing under at the moment?
Matoni. So that's Tony.
Is that just Matt and Tony?
That's it.
I love it.
Nice and easy.
It's like Tarakash, the clothing brand. Did you know that story?
No.
So Tarakash, they're 2 brothers, I think, from South Africa, but they use the first 2 letters of each of their kids' names.
Or do you know those names, or you just?
I don't know the actual names, but I know that that's how they got it.
There you go.
Yeah,
that was nice and easy. We thought about a few different ways, but that just seemed to work.
Matoni.
So, yeah.
And is that Y or I at the end?
No, it's actually M-A, and I always get this wrong. M-A, because there was another Matoni.
Oh, right, okay. Sort. Here we go. Plot thickens.
Yeah, M-A-T-T-O-N-I-I. There you go. Double I on the end.
I.
That's it.
Double I, fellas, if you want to look at. And have you released already?
We've released on Motive. We probably had 6 or 7 releases. It's obviously easy when you own your own label and you just want to get stuff out.
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about dealing with labels, and you know what it's like. So it's just easy. We can just put stuff out as we please. So yeah, a lot on Motive. We've had tracks on Blockhead.
Yep.
We've had tracks on Simmer Black, Low Steppers label, and we have a track coming out on Nervous in a few weeks.
Ooh.
In New York. So that's really exciting.
That's really exciting, because that could really break you guys into a totally different listener base.
Exactly. Yeah, we're really excited about that one when they picked that up. So that's out July 1.
Yeah.
Matt, do you find yourself collaborating with a lot of guys on your own label?
Not really, no. Tony and I don't really. We've collaborated with Alex Preston before on a track, but outside of that, it's just been our own.
Can you grab that remote just under the mixing desk so we can put our little brand back?
Sure can.
Sorry, we've got a bit of a standby. There we go.
It's the first episode. This is always going to happen, guys.
This shit's
we're doing
live,
well,
guys.
Yeah, man, we're doing okay.
Yeah.
How are we going for time?
We are not doing too bad. We've got 28 minutes in.
Yeah. Wicked.
That's flown by.
Mate, see?
We've got so much to talk about.
So much to talk about.
Yeah.
So come back to yourself collaborating. Good question.
Not really. No, not yet. We will look at it, but at the moment we've just been focusing on our own sort of tracks. And even with remixes, we've only remixed a Mirko and Meeks track that came out on our own label because I just love the track so much. So we wanted to put our touch to it. So, but yeah, we've that's pretty much it with that. We're working on a few new ones.
What's the process like? Run me through how before a track is created. So run me through how you guys get together. How do you guys decide? Do you guys block out some time? Walk me through
look, Tony's more into it than me. Obviously, with everything I'm doing with all the agency and the events and stuff, it is more Tony at the front foot of that. But Tony's got a lot more time on his hands. I mean, he used to own cafes. He's sold all.
He's out of it now.
He's out of it.
Thank God.
He's out of it, and he's basically just full-time DJing. So I've got him like doing 9-10 gigs a week at the moment. So he's got plenty of time during the week to focus on production. But we get in the studio occasionally and get amongst it. But it is more.
So does that mean you guys sort of have a bit of a conversation about what you're vibing and try to figure out?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the start of the process.
Yeah.
Like an ideas.
Yeah.
Thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you get in.
Get in and get amongst it. I mean, Tony spends way more time on it than I do. But
sometimes, like I've collaborated with a lot of people, and sometimes that's the best way to work with someone.
Yeah.
Get their input, go by yourself, do the work, and then get them come in again. Because sometimes you get a bit awkward when someone's sitting next to you and has already contributed the ideas.
Yeah. And time's obviously,
exactly.
It's not much time in my weeks, especially now with the kids. So, but we're managing, so it's good. Yeah,
awesome.
We've got a few gigs coming up actually. We're playing at Defected in Ibiza for the Defected guys. On July 22, we're playing at Yacht Week in Croatia. So fair few gigs in Europe coming up as well. And obviously we did Red Ruby last night in Mississippi, so it's been good.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. Any new talent that you're looking at, or have you? What's some advice you can give to upcoming producers that want to get signed to Motive? How could you help them, give them some advice on how they should be approaching you and how they should be communicating with you guys?
Well, I'm actually the guy that goes through the demos.
Right.
We've got 4 people that work at Motive. Obviously, Ben and I.
Yep.
Ben does all the day-to-day and contracts and more A&R sort of stuff. I go through the demos and shortlist what's half good or good.
Can we just run through that quickly?
Yeah.
Richard, I might get you to ask this question because we kind of covered it before when people sort of skim through the process of listening to demos.
Oh, the tick, tick, tick.
We were saying in our last podcast episode, me personally, when I'm picking a track to DJ, I'm like, listen, and then,
That's it.
Is that a similar process for you guys?
It is. Because, I go through 150 a week.
Wow. You're getting sent 150 demos a week.
Around that. Yeah. So I set aside Thursday or Friday as my Motive day to go through all the demos. And
what do you do? Do you respond to every single demo that you don't approve?
I respond to every demo.
Yeah.
Whether it's a sort of generic message that we're not interested in the track, or if I feel it needs a bit more work, or we'll come back to you because I need to run it by the team. But I get back to everyone. What not to do? Don't just send an email with just a SoundCloud and that's it, and just like no message, nothing, not a hi. Could we consider this to I'm getting people just sending just a SoundCloud link. And
as in the profile or the SoundCloud track link?
In the email, just a SoundCloud link. No hi or this is my name, this is where I'm from, nothing, just the SoundCloud link.
Right,
Listen.
and that's not what to do. What would be a nice little, obviously you're busy, so you don't have, what are the key things I need to put into an email?
A bit about yourself, who you've released with, a lot of people, they say we love the music on Motive. We think it's a nice fit. So a lot of people go to the effort of actually putting a Motive logo on the SoundCloud.
Right, that's a good idea.
Which I think's pretty cool. Like they think it's already signed or something. But no, it's I don't mind that touch.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the other one is too. I'm getting the same guys sending me 3 demos a week. We're consistently saying no, it's not right, and they're sending the same tracks or slightly different, or
so they're just doing a change on the track. It's not even a separate track.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're resubmitting it.
We've already said no to it, so they can keep trying, but that's probably not going to get it over the line.
I think that's a really good thing to expand on. That once the label doesn't vibe it at the start, unless it's a completely different track, it's better for the producer too, for the self-esteem to go, okay, they've knocked it back. Let's start looking for another home. Because what happens if that track does have a really suitable home? Yeah,
exactly. Right? And that's right. Like I get sent some great music, but it might be too on a deep minimal tip, or it might be progressive, or melodic, which I love that music, but it's not right for Motive.
Are they sending them to you finished, mixed and mastered?
Some do, some don't.
Yeah.
And we don't, if they send us a track that's not mastered, but we can see potential, we're not going to say we can still work with that.
Yeah.
Some send them fully mastered, they're ready to go. Some send it where they think it's mastered and we have to get it remastered. Yeah. But yeah, it's a mix. It's a bit mixed bag. But I enjoy that process. I do like a short list of that. Maybe 150 emails come through and 15 are worth sending to the team.
When do you check? So someone like yourself, do you have a specific time of each day of each week where you're doing a specific thing?
Yeah, so as I said before, like Thursday, Fridays is a bit quieter for me in terms of OneHit, workload. So usually on a Thursday or Friday. So I went through it, even though I'm here on holidays. I did all that yesterday.
Yeah.
And caught up to date with it all. But usually at the end of the week. There wasn't much. I think there was 4 this week that we could send to Ben.
Yeah.
And he'll have a listen and then we'll go back to them all. But
so if he comes back, you've shortlisted 4 that have gotten past you. Mm-hmm. So you're the first.
But when I say they've gotten past me, I don't necessarily think they're going to be signed.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah. So what's the next process?
Yeah. So we have a rule, and the rule is it can't be an 8 out of 10.
Right.
Right. So you can be a 7, 6, 9, 10, but you can't give an 8. So if we think it's below 8, we're not going to even look at it. If we think it's a 9 or a 10, it's worth sending to Ben. So 9 and 10, that's pretty high.
Yeah.
And then and then it goes to Ben, and he'll decide whether. Well, together we decide whether it's right. So yeah.
How would you categorize the vibe and the energy and the overall sound for tracks that go into Motive?
Yeah, it's it's not. We don't have one direct sort of sound. We've signed disco records. We've signed house, soulful house, jackin' house. It's a good mix. We're not pigeonholing ourselves, even some tech house, but we are looking at starting a new sub-label soon, which will be more on the techier, sort of more underground tip of Motive. And then Motive will be our main sort of, straight up house sort of stuff. But yeah, it's a mix. It's not so any one sound.
Expand on Richard's question. Is there like more of a theme rather than a genre, a feeling?
Yeah, more just a feeling. Yeah, like, good vocals, good house music. That's really all it is. It doesn't have to be any specific type of house, but yeah. Like the most successful record on our label so far is Angelo Ferreri, Magic, and that was a Jack and House record.
Yeah.
That's been the biggest track. I get John Course. He goes, I play it every set still to this day.
That's amazing. And, that's amazing.
It's done really well for us. So
unreal.
And we're getting a lot of plays as well on some of the big podcasts. Tool Room and Defected supporting a lot of our tracks now as well. So that's great to see. Yeah,
and I think the future's really positive for what you're doing because of the synergy with Defected. It's allowing you guys to start, I guess, building your own kind of Defected in a way that's not trying to be like them.
No, exactly.
We're trying to
do our own thing, but we obviously get, as I said before, I get inspiration from everything they do. We don't copy them, but we get inspiration, of course. Simon's one of my idols, so definitely look up to those guys. But the other thing too, like in terms of house music labels in Australia, like obviously Club Sweat's right up the top of that list.
Yep.
But I think below that, I might be a bit biased, but I think we're sitting right there with maybe Tinted and a few others. But like this is a 3-year.
You hear that, Danny? We're coming for you. He's on the island.
No, he is on the island.
I tried to get him on the podcast.
There you go. But I did say that they're still the benchmark, of course. They're working with some of the biggest internationals in the world.
Guys.
Purple Disco Machine, Ferric Dawn, David Penn.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel we're sitting.
Shout out to Danny.
Yeah, shout out to Danny.
Full Club. Hot since 84. It's a little joke we have because we're both born in the same year. But
there you go.
Mate, I just want to expand a little bit on this. This is juicy stuff, and I appreciate you sharing this stuff. You've spoken a bit about how many demos are coming your way, and yesterday there was sort of 4 that got sent to Ben. Is there some people doing the right things, and has it been a point where first couple of tracks were not quite right, but they're growing and you can see them progressing?
Yeah, from the same artist.
From the same artist,
100%. We've had some artists that have sent us. I can't remember the names. This is a few years ago, but have sent us tracks and they were nowhere near close, maybe a 3 or a 4 out of 10.
Yep.
Then they become a 6 or 7. And Ben often works. He's great with the A&R. He'll work with them if we see potential. And we've got them up to being able to be released on the label.
And they have released.
Yeah.
So listen here, folks. No means not yet.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Don't keep sending the same track.
That's exactly right.
With a new kick.
And just put a bit of an intro into the email as well.
And an intro.
Yeah.
Bit about where you're from, what labels you're released on.
Yeah. And maybe also don't send it to 10 different labels at the same time. Maybe have your key ones, maybe 2 or 3, and then if they say no or decline it, give them a time. If they decline it, then maybe move on to the next 3. Because some people send it to 10 and we get back to them, I've already signed it somewhere else. And it's like,
That's let's just elaborate on that. So when you're sending to the label, give you guys, say, hey, 2 weeks?
Yeah, well, that's what Tony and I do. We'll send it. We might say, we think this track's good for these 2 labels. Let's send it to these 2 or even 1. Mm-hmm. Give them a week. If they don't get back to you, maybe go to the next 2 that you think it would work with and work that way, not send it. So and this is the other one. Someone sent us a demo the other week and not BCC, CC'd every label like you could imagine, every house label. There would have been 40. It's great for me. I picked up all these new.
Yeah, send us that list, brother.
I will. But send it to everyone. 40 people. I'm like, rookie error.
That person that did that might have actually helped all the people on the thing.
He definitely did. He helped me.
Yeah. So it's almost like, hey man, thanks for that.
Yeah.
And so guys, just be a little bit more accurate. And have a bit more of a story. Doesn't have to be a really long one.
No, not at all. But some people, just sending straight up the SoundCloud link and that's it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Appreciate you sharing that kind of stuff. Touching on idols, let's talk a bit about Simon Dunmore, but let's also talk about, have there been other idols for you at different points of your career? And if there was, can you share some, or what kind of things? Or if it's just Simon, let's expand on that. Up to you.
Oh, look, my dad is definitely one of my idols for sure.
Unreal.
before Simon for sure. My dad. He's been there for me my whole life, and even when most parents would not think that you can make a career out of music, he, at the start he didn't believe it was going to be the right move, but he backed me, and look what's happened, since then. Like I just took my dad and my stepmom to America and Mexico for a trip that, they hadn't been overseas for 7 or 8 years. They'll probably never go overseas again.
How old are you
special.
folks? Just for
Dad's 67.
Yeah.
And he's still working. He had he made a bad decision when he was a bit older, a few years ago.
Yeah.
I won't go into it, but he lost a bit of money, and he's still working. So it's good to be able to help him out with like holidays and stuff like that. He's been there for me from forever. So he's definitely my idol.
And when it comes to him being an idol, what would you think are some of the things that he instilled in you that you idolized?
Yeah, just a good work ethic. Work hard. Like he owned a chocolate shop when we were kids.
Amazing.
And he made
Where was that?
It was Giorgio's Confectionery in Petersham. It's shut down now.
Yeah.
But here's the story. Back when I was in year 8, I got someone messaged me about this from school the other day. This is where I started working. All right. I used to
in year 8.
Yeah, in year 8, right? I used to pack my bag.
What, 13, 14?
Yeah, 13, 14. I used to go to the chocolate shop, get the warheads, pack them myself in bags of whatever, 10 in each or whatever. And I used to buy them for cost to my dad. So I'd pay him $2 a bag. And I'd go to school and I'd sell them for $4.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
And this I used to say,
200%.
Instead of packing my school bag with books and pens and lunch and everything, I'd pack it full to the brim where I couldn't even close the bag of lollies.
Amazing.
And I'd go to school. I had teachers buying off me. Everyone knew me as the lolly man. And I was literally making $200 or $300 a day.
Really?
Yeah. So I was making like over $1,000, $1,500 a week at 13, 14.
And what were you doing with that kind of money? Were you saving it?
I was a saver. Yeah. Save. So that got me, at a young age, learning how to make money,
And
how to work, and save as well.
Did you end up bringing another bag with your books? Did you work it with two? Did you start bringing 2 bags?
Yeah, I started mixing and matching, and added a few more, lollies to the
diversification.
Yeah, exactly.
Increase the product line.
You had to. But no, I did that for a few years, and then got back into my studies a bit more. But yeah, that at a young age, Dad taught me that and how to make money, and it all eventuated from there in terms of owning my own businesses and stuff. So yeah.
That's
cool
unreal,
story.
man. That's really cool. And I think you touched something interesting there with the saving, right? Because you could have easily spent that money and been the coolest kid in school.
Yeah.
Right? You could have. Were you one of the first to get the car? Have the car?
Well, our dad, we're lucky enough that Dad bought all us. My dad has 8 kids.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
4 with my mum and then 4 steps. So he bought all 8 of us our first car, which is very nice. Not expensive cars or anything, but he bought us all our first car. That was something he wanted to do. So yeah, I was one of the first to get a car for sure. Yeah.
Wow. And back to, so your old man, he is definitely a key idol. Work ethic, savings, the concept of profit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
and so when I before my wife, I had a ex-girlfriend, and when we broke up, I was in a bit of a rut. This was 12 years ago or something, and my dad said, "Go and buy a house. You've got savings. Go and buy an apartment. Go and buy something. Just do something with your money."
When you said you're in a rut, you're like an emotional rut.
Yeah, just an emotional rut. Yeah. Heartbroken. 2.5 years with a chick, and it ended badly. So he said, "Go and do something with your money." And I was humming and ahhing, and I did that. And I bought my first property in Chiswick, an apartment, 2-bedroom. I think I paid $540,000. Sold that 3 years ago for, I think, just shy of $900,000. It was paid off.
Yeah.
And then Annabelle and I bought a place in Leichhardt with, that money and the money we'd saved. And now we've got a beautiful home, 4-bedroom in Leichhardt, brand
Amazing
new.
spot. Amazing location for like a young couple.
It's great.
Like you guys, young family, sorry.
Yeah, but to go back to it, without dad's advice there to just, like, you know, your parents always say, oh, you got to do this, got to do that. But he pretty much forced me. He said, buy a bloody house. You got money sitting there and you're not doing anything with it. And that's what got us set up in the property market in Australia, which, you know, is so hard to
that's
crack.
why I'm in Bali. Yeah. Now I've got to leave and go to Portugal or something. You know? I missed the boat.
Missed the tax in Portugal. Yeah.
And so let's thank you for sharing that, man. I really appreciate it. But let's talk a little bit more about this. Let's talk about Simon, an absolute titan in our industry.
Yeah. He's great. He's a good friend. I mean, during COVID, especially when everyone was in their own little ruts or, you know, going through it, no one was making money and whatnot. He would call me at least once a month, maybe once or two. Yeah, just for a chat, just to see how I'm going, how I'm coping. Blah, blah, which I was coping just fine. We were fine. You know, the Australian government did a lot for us in terms of grants, so we were pretty okay. But he always would check in, and it's just a good touch. You know, we're good friends. When he comes out here, we hang out, you know, all the time. When we were in Ibiza, he invited me and my wife and I up to his villa in Santa Eulalia, I think it's called, and had, you know, dinner with him and his family. It's
like a friend. It's like a mentor.
It's a mentor. It's a friend. It's like family.
And how did that start? How was that cultivated? Because it was Tom that didn't pick up the email.
Yeah. So it was George. Yeah. So really, it was George, and I didn't meet Simon until maybe an ADE, or it would have been ADE, or it would have been at Defected Croatia in 2017. So. Yeah, because none of the Defected staff came out to the first few Defectors. We just did it ourselves, obviously. I think it would have been an ADE or Defected Croatia where I met George and Simon for the first time. And then, you know, it just kicked off from there, really. Yeah, he's got a beautiful family, and they've taken us under, you know, and treat us like family as well. So, yeah. That's
unreal. And what are some of the things that you can share that you've picked up from, you know, what you've taken from him in terms of not taken, but just picked up, you know, that you've added to who you are and your beliefs?
Yeah, like his work ethic. I listened to a podcast of his the other day. I don't know if you've listened to it.
I haven't.
I'll
check it
show
out,
you
man.
after.
Yeah, send it to me.
But, you know, he spoke about just, you know, working hard and believing in your product, believing in your brands. And that's something that I try and do as well with OneHit, Motive, even the brands we started like Boogie and Imprint, some of the events we run in Sydney. But just believing in your brand and the team you have around you. Like, I mean, I don't have a team like Simon. I think he's got 30 or 40 employees. But just you know, having a good team that believe in it as well. And he's, you know,
it's hard to find good people in our industry because of the pay rates.
Yeah,
compared to like talent.
Well, it's a passion thing, and it's not. You'd rather go for someone that has a strong passion for music that might not have all the skill set. He said this as well, rather than, you know, someone that doesn't really know much about music but has an amazing skill.
CV.
Yeah, exactly. That you'd rather go for someone that is driven, loves music, wants to learn, loves the brands. That's someone you want working with you. So,
100%. That's really, really good advice, man. That's very personal to me what you just said. You know, I'm like, amen, brother. You know,
that's why a lot of people, like even people that work for me, they could go and earn a lot more money at a 9-to-5 office job, but they still make you know, it's not that bad, the music, the money in Sydney, but it's less money, but it's something that they enjoy doing. And you know, when you get to travel around with our tours and spend time with artists and get gigs on the back of it, and you know, all the perks that go with it, it's not bad.
And it's that you touched on it. It's the love of the music.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
That's really the glue.
Yeah,
and that's what we're all got in common.
That's it.
You know,
that's it. Yeah, and you know, going through COVID, 2 years of what we did, a lot of people could have just packed their, you know, changed careers or whatever. But you see who the true people that really do love it.
Yeah,
they're all still here now. So, yeah.
Did you find yourself sort of touching base more with your team during the pandemic?
Yeah,
kind of like what Simon was doing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've only got 3, so it was a lot easier. But now we checked in.
Or maybe friends as well in the industry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did. And people reached out to me. You know who your true friends are from going through what we just went through. So, yeah, for sure.
Awesome. And have there been any kind of? Did you get extra? Obviously, you know you're having a baby, and was there any time for you with this pause button to reflect and reflect on how you'd been doing things. Did you need to change something? What was it? Or did you need to do more of something that you realized, did you get any of those kind of insights?
Not really, no. I mean, I enjoyed the break, I'll be honest. I've worked super hard and I'm not complaining, but I've worked hard for 15 years to get to where I was. So it was like a little mini holiday for me and spend more time with my family, with Annabelle and the baby on the way, and just relax. I didn't want it to go on for 2 years, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But yeah, I was quite comfortable there for a bit. It was. I obviously I still wanted to. I'd rather be working, of course, but it was a good little break.
Are you a type of person that struggles to not work? To take time off? Does that?
I couldn't settle down, man. Just twiddling my thumbs, working out what I'm going to do today. When like what? Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah. I mean, I was twiddling my thumbs a lot.
Yeah. Did you pick up anything new while it's in that time, or
not
was
really? I was going to look in. I was going to look into the whole NFT and
you don't
trading.
have to worry about that. We got you.
You got you. Yeah. But no, not really. I just relaxed and then got set up for when we came back out of
preparation.
Prep.
You got to do more prep.
Yeah, we were very well prepped. I mean, we had our lineups done. As soon as we knew October was the start date, I'd booked October, November, December. Tickets were on sale. We were one of the first out of the blocks in Sydney. Yeah,
wow.
So, and already starting to plan, the big brands that we bring to Australia. But Motive went through all of COVID. That's one thing. So it's not like I stopped and did nothing. We still had Motive.
You did, because I signed a track through then, and I didn't get to speak to you that much, but I spoke to Benny quite a bit, who by the way, is an absolute legend. So back to your team, you may not have a big team, but the people you've got are good people.
Great.
You know, and that speaks volumes of who you guys all are and that kind of trust.
Yeah.
That you guys have each other, and there's this kind of saying in our industry, people don't work with your friends, but I think it's the opposite.
Yeah,
I think if you work with your friends, you're going to have better quality kind of relationships.
For sure. I think it just depends
on the boundaries, maybe.
Yeah, getting into business with friends, it can work, but it also sometimes doesn't work. I've been there before. So, but working with your friends is fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the things that doesn't work out. Things change, I've been in the same position as you where I've started brands and we've walked ways, but we're still maintain friendships.
Yeah, like you and Mark, I guess.
Me and Mark, I mean, he's still one of my best mates, but Emmanuel with Escape.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I didn't know I did not know that.
Yeah.
And now are you doing that is it with Scotty?
Now Scotty's sort of taking more active role.
Yeah.
And Mark sort of just said, yeah, you guys have it. And Emmanuel, Emmanuel and I and Mark, we split a brand. We did another one, Northern Beaches. So we just took one each.
Okay,
cool. That's how.
I used to work with Emmanuel back at the Soho days. So.
Yeah, that's where I poached him from.
That's right.
Because I not poached him, but you guys were running the best. Him. You guys are running the best thing, and I want to meet this guy.
He was great.
That's got buses picking up people from outside our event.
That's it. No, he was awesome.
Yeah.
That's where I met Brad, right?
Yeah.
Brad, who works for me now at OneHit. I started at Soho. He was one of the
best promoters.
He was one of the best.
Just best attitude.
He had a good attitude, yeah. So that's where we met, and then he went and worked for Starfuckers.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then he came back to me after that, and he's been with us, I reckon, 6 or 7 years now. So yeah.
Wow.
Well, our staff have always stuck around. Like we've got good, they stick around. Even Ivka don't even know Ivka Radis. She did the logistics marketing sort of role before Brad, or before Chris Oakes was in there as well.
Oh, Oaksy and Lennox.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. But Ivka was there too. We've always had, we've had our staff have stuck around quite a while.
Unreal.
So, touch wood.
So what can we look forward to from you? You said summer's around the corner.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
you've got some tours.
Yep.
There's Motive.
Yep.
There's Defected parties. What's something you want to share with us about what?
We're going to Europe in a month. Going to just meet all the guys we haven't seen for 2.5 years. All the Defected crew and that. Going to Defected Croatia, Ibiza. That's going to be a great holiday. When we come back, it's I reckon 2 months until the Defected tour starts. Got to go to ADE a week before that as well. So I'll be coming back from ADE in Amsterdam straight into the Defected tour. So, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Auckland, Perth, Bali, in that order. Have a month off. And then we've got the the other brand that I've spoken to you about, but we won't talk about that. But that's in December.
Yep.
And then, all our New Year's Eve stuff that we do, we've got some big stuff planned on. I've got a massive act locked in for Jan 2, got stuff on Jan 1, New Year's Eve, we're touring Moose T.
Oh, yeah. OG, man.
Yeah, and then Glitterbox in January. So we've got a big schedule. And then we run weeklies. We got Boogie every Saturday at Ivy Pool.
So Sydney crew every Saturday, Ivy Pool.
Yeah, it's the place to be. So we do that every Saturday. It's been going for over a year. Started during COVID. And, it's going great. So we're busy.
Mate, that's unbelievable, man. A really, really impressive stuff. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit of insight.
No, thanks for having me. It's been great.
Most welcome. I think we might have one or two more questions that Richard might pull out of our question bag just to see if there's anything else that we haven't really covered.
Cool.
I'm going to duck off to the bathroom real quickly. Does anyone need a toilet break?
I'm good.
Okay, you good. All right, Richard, I'll let you ask the questions.
I'm still good.
Maybe you've got time for a couple more questions.
Yeah. How are you doing for time, Matt?
Yeah, good.
Still good. One of the key things that we always want to find out from a lot of the guys is during the pandemic with the labels, with your work, it was a big hit for all of us musically. Did you find yourself and your brand tapping into things like social media, specifically maybe live streaming to sort of kind of pick up the slack a bit and keep things active?
Not really. I mean, we missed the boat on that. I mean, I think Defected and that did that really well and got onto it really early. I did a few live streams myself just to try and keep active and waste some of the day away. But we didn't really do any through OneHit or Motive for that.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it gets a bit tricky. I mean, it's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort putting all that sort of stuff together.
Yeah.
And even though it did help, a lot of people just don't have the time.
Some artists grew during that time. I think Bob Sinclair, what he was doing was incredible.
Yeah. And tell me, with the Boogie With Us that happens at Ivy, what sort of atmosphere are you guys trying to create for that party?
Well, it's a mixture of disco, house, and classics. We've had Sam Devine and Low Stepper play there over the last few months.
Yeah.
We've got neon signs, mirror balls. The music, good residents. It's going really well. It's a place to be. I mean, obviously during winter, it gets quite cold up there. It's like 10 to 12 degrees tonight up there for tonight. So, but we're still managing to get 600-700 people every Saturday, and then in summer we're doing 1,200 plus. So it's really sort of one of the places to be in Sydney. So.
That's lovely. So tell me, also thinking about all the successes and the way you've grown over the years as an artist and a DJ, as your younger self, what do you think you would think of yourself right now and how far you've come so far in your journey?
It's a blur. It really is. It's gone so quick. I can't believe I'm 35 now. So I've nearly been DJing half my life. When I turned 36 in September, I've been DJing half my life. It's crazy to think that it's been 18 years has flown by. So, it's been good. Been a fun ride.
Yeah. That's what it's all about, man. And tell me quickly, with the money that you were saving from all the lollipops, apart from property, did any of that go into some DJ gear, some of your bedroom studio?
It surely did. You've done your research, haven't you? Yeah. I mean, I've got the 3000s at home and the V10.
Yeah.
It's just gathering dust, but it's just a waste. I spent, I think, 17 grand on this setup and I hardly play it.
Damn.
It's weird. But I mean, I did use it during COVID a bit with some live streams, but it's gone to good use, I guess. I'll sell it one day, I'm sure.
Just a quick, sorry to cut you off, Richard.
Sure.
I know you got a couple more in there, but live streams. I've got a thing about this, and I want your take on you as a DJ that's used to playing in front of people. What's your stance on live streams? How do you feel about it?
We're just talking about. I mean, it's saturated now. It's I think if you're onto it early, you sort of, it was okay. But
how did you feel personally?
Well, as I was saying just then, we didn't really hit it too hard with the OneHit or Motive with doing live streams. We thought about it, but I did a few myself, but just for fun. It was nothing,
Did you like it though when you were playing to a stream personally?
I don't mind. I know some people like you probably I like playing in front of people. I mean, as long as I got a bottle of red wine next to me, I was fine. I was enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's But I do see what you're coming from, and there's a lot of people like that just didn't get a buzz from it. They like to play in front of people. So
that's really interesting because we kind of have different take on it, and that's what makes it interesting. Because there are other people that don't mind it. There are people that like it, you know, because there's different attributes to it. What did you find that was a lot different to the obvious of fact there's no crowd when you're playing? Does it change the way you curate your tracks?
100%. You don't have to fill a room. You don't. You can. I was playing music that I really liked, whether it was just sort of just warm up music. I love warming up. I'd rather do a warm up.
I guess that's peak time where I'm from.
Yeah. I honestly rather play a warm up set and warm a room up and get it right for the main act than play that main set. Like last night we did Red Ruby and we had to play the 1 to 3 slot. I would rather play it 11 to 1.
Yeah, because you have to maintain that energy, right?
Yeah, and I've got that music, but I just enjoy the warm-up sets. It's building a crowd, building a dance floor, building the night. That means so much more than jumping in and playing the main slot. It's a lot easier. I've done that back in the old days when we used to.
You certainly have.
Yeah, you know, like we
put in your hours, man.
I did,
put in your time.
And I'd rather do the warm-ups these days. So.
Yeah. What else we got in that bag of tricks?
Oh, loads.
Hit me with something. Richard's got these killer questions, man. They just unlock you.
I wish you told me about these questions before. I'm just on the fly. We're doing all right?
Yeah, we're improvising, man. This is how we make music on the fly, man. We're in flow.
Well, man. Is it your first time to Bali? I doubt it.
Definitely not. I think I've been here 30, 40 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started back in, probably 14, 15 years ago. I used to do Sky Garden all the time.
That.
Yeah. I used to come over and have to play in that big Sky Dome and bang it out, and did that for quite a while. And then good old Damien in there booked me at the W. I played with Frankie Rosado at Wubar. And I've done Mississippi. I've done Uli Cliff House. Just Red Ruby a few times as well. Kamakandara.
Yeah.
Something a bit different. But done a lot of gigs, and then a lot of just holidays, a lot of just downtime with the family as well. I love it. This is one of my favourite places in the world, for sure. And I'm looking at getting a villa soon and potentially moving over here in a few years' time. So
beautiful.
Like to bring up the kids.
Yeah, I think so. Look, we got some dogs back home, so I want to wait for them to. I don't want to. They're too old to be bringing them over here now. But it's definitely on the cards. It's something that we could look at. You know, the time difference isn't much between here and Sydney. I can still do a lot of my work, you know, remotely, and just travel between Sydney and Bali quite often. But
I'll try to keep you posted with any kind of land and all that kind of stuff.
We're already please do, and I've got someone else looking as well. So we're looking to do that in the next few months and build. So that's exciting.
We'll talk about that after the show.
Yep.
That's wonderful. Bali's got a good energy.
It's great. Yeah,
it's an amazing island to have a good time.
It really is. My favourite places in the world would be here, Ibiza, Amsterdam, and New York.
Yeah.
Wow.
Two island sort of spots, and then 2 cities that I really enjoy. So
yeah, unreal, man.
Have you been down to ADE with Motive as well?
Up.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. If you want to go down the South Pole and up and around, you could probably go down. But up, I've been to ADE probably 5 or 6 times. Yeah, every year. I didn't go. I think they did one last year during COVID, but we couldn't go anyway.
Do you do all the music conferences, or what's the main ones for you?
I do ADE now every year. Have done for 5 years. I've done WMC previously, but not for a long time.
Did you just do it? No.
No, I didn't. I actually haven't done WMC for probably 8 or 9 years. I am going to start going now. It used to be very EDM-ish.
Yeah.
I feel now a lot more of the house sort of labels and people are rocking up there. So I will look to go there next year.
And do you do the IMS as well?
No, I don't. No. I've never done that because we usually always go to Ibiza around July, August, and that's usually in April, May or whatever it is. So.
And what's the game plan when you go to AD? Are you going as an agent? Are you going or are you wearing all your hats?
All the hats, mate. I've got 3, 4 hats. Yeah, I go as Motive, usually with Ben. Ben won't be going this year, so I'll be having to do the whole Motive thing. And then obviously agency with the international artists we look after, catching up with all them, working on tours. And then the event side as well. So, you know, meeting up with brands that we want to tour here.
Do you find you get a lot done at ADE?
I get so much done. It's so worth it. I think that's the one of the most useful 1 weeks of the year for me to go over there. Yeah.
And what would you say, has there been sort of some key things that have eventuated because you went to ADE?
100%. Yeah, we've. Well, I wouldn't say we do Defecting Glitterbox because that was already sorted, but it's still maintaining those relationships, meeting the other people at the team there, not just your Simons and Georges, but meeting the marketing team and all the artists as well. So yeah, there's a lot to get out of it, and we're looking potentially to do our own label party this year. We're working on that at the moment. So that's sort of the next step for us, is to sort of grow the Motive brand over there. As I said, we've got a lot of artists that go to ADE that are internationals that have released with us, so we can throw a label party and get a pretty good lineup together and grow the brand. So yeah, but we've signed a lot of records at ADE, Ben and I, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anything else we got there, Richard?
Wonderful. No, nothing over here.
We're going to wrap up, man. Yeah. We want to really thank you for being on the show.
Thank
You're
you.
Kicking off the first guest on Crate. This will be episode 3.
Cool.
So really, really good to catch up with you, man. It's really good to see you doing well. Congratulations on your baby.
Thank you. You too, coming up. But it's been great, guys. I really enjoyed the chat.
Been a pleasure, Matt.
And we'll keep in touch.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See ya.